All right. Parashat Vayechi. Well, once upon a time, there was a guy in England. His name was Billy Shakespeare. He got it all wrong. You like Shakespeare, right? I don't. Why did he get it wrong? Because he didn't learn Torah. I mean, what do you mean why he get it wrong? Very simple. He got it wrong because, oh, that's nice. Because he asked a very dumb question. And everybody asks the same question when they want to sound smart. Just like anything else, you have nothing to say, you try to sound smart, so you regurgitate something that you heard somewhere. You know, the usual stuff. Yes, sir.
To be or not to be?
To be or not to be. That's a very stupid question. That's not...
Whether it is noble or something.
Snowball?
Whether it is noble.
Whether it is noble? No. To be or not to be is a very stupid question. I'm going to show you why it's a stupid question. In this week's parasha, we have something similar. You see, it doesn't work so well in English, but it works very well in Hebrew. Maybe it works in English too. What? Pirkei Avot. Are you a psychic or something? That's not what I was talking about. Now, in Hebrew, the question will be, do you live or do you leave? In Hebrew, it will be atagar or chai. Right? Efo atagar or efo atachai. People do use that. And it's very interesting in terms of that question. I don't think we're going to make it that long. This is really amazing. It's beautiful stuff that's in there. And you should take it down before Kochot HaResha will come, and then you'll have something to say. So from the words of Yosef and Yaakov in the parasha, it would seem like that sometimes there are times in the world that a person is present in the world, but not necessarily he's alive, chai. So the question is, does it make any difference? The answer is yes. And we will try to see if there is a way to really find a path to live, not just to live. I mean, living in terms of life, not in terms of residence. Lichyot, not only lagur. So, for example, if I'm going to, in English, it's interesting how it works. So if I'm going to ask you, for example, Rebzi, how old are you? Or Yitzchak, or Zalman, or Eliyahu Navi, all of you guys, right? How old are you? Right? So you would say, no, that's not how you answer. No.
I am this years old.
21 years old, old master. No, 21-year-old. Yes, right, sir. Yeah, 21 years old. Forgot the old. So someone says that what does it mean? What does it mean 31 years? What is, or 51, whatever years old? What does it mean that old? So he says, when people ask me, how old are you? And since he knows that he's 80-something years old, so this person says, I'm 80, let's say 85 or 82 years young. Some of you are very old. Age. I mean, so the question is, you see here. However, in in English, it's like everybody says, I'm 25 years old, I'm 3 years old. In Hebrew, it's not the question. In question, how do you ask you in Hebrew? Ben kamata. Ben is very interesting, right? Ben is something that has to do with youth, right? Ben. So very interesting how we answer and how society affects actually the way we speak. So the beginning of Parashat Vayechi, the Torah tells us the following: Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim 17 shana ויהי ימי יעקב שני חייו 7 שנים ו40 שנה. The whole question that he had there, and he lived in Eretz Mitzrayim 17 years, and the 2 lives of Yaakov were 142 years. No, Sheva Shanim, 7 years, 40 years, and 147 years. So of course we have to ask the question, why is the Torah telling us how many years he lived in Mitzrayim? What point does it serve to me? What does it have to do with the price of wheat in China or the price of steel in China? Right? What does it have to do with anything? How many years he lived in Mitzrayim? Before a few psukim, the Torah already told us that he was 130 years old, right? And he died at 147. So it's, for most of us who pay attention in first grade, that will make us 17 years that he was in Mitzrayim. So why does the Torah need to tell me that he lived there for those 17 years? So the answer is very simple. The answer is really, we could start to look for an answer in a different question because we are good Jews, and usually Jews answer with another question, right? Like for example, how are you? So a regular, if you go somewhere else, a regular person would say, I'm fine, thank you. And if you ask a Jew, he will ask you, no, what do you care? You have to answer with a question, right? So in last week's parasha, when Yaakov Avinu met Paro asked them, Kama yemei shnei chayecha? Your 2 lives. And Yaakov said, Yemei shnei megurai, 30 u'me'at shana, me'at v'ra'im hayu yemei chayai. I lived for 130 years. I'm 130 years old, and my years are very few. What? Very few? You mean 130 years? What's few about it? And they were bad. If I would answer such a question, you right away will holler at me, oh, Rabbi, where's your emunah? I'm thankful to Hashem. What's this? Ernie and Bert? What are you guys putting over there? Right? So, and then he continues, ולא השיגו את ימי שני חיי אבותיי בימי מגוריהם, and they even come near to the lives of my fathers when they lived in the land. So his answer is very complex, and why didn't he just simply say 130 years? מה זה ימי שני מגוריי? He says, how old are you? I'm 130 years. Why do you have to put this thing? So, and what is it? And again, what is Yemei Chayai? The days of my life, my living. So the Malbim has a very interesting question on that, and him and some Baalei Musar explain that there is time that a person is alive, but is living, but is not really alive. And remember, I've been telling you this for many years now. He lives on earth, on this land, but is not really alive. Now, when I usually talk about things like that, I'm going to hit you home. And that's why everybody all of a sudden became very serious. Because you know what's coming. Of course, the question is, are we doing anything about it? But let's see if you are right, or maybe I'm right. I'm always right. But Yaakov Avinu said to Paro, you ask me how many years am I alive, right? How many years am I alive? Or you ask me how many years am I living on the earth? It's 2 different things. By the way, this should be לרפואה שלמה of Ayelet Esther bat Shendel Nechama, and רפואה שלמה of my dear cousin Yitzchak ben Victoria Geula. So, because he says to him, because many years I lived on earth, but my life was not life. Why? Because Esav gave me a hard time. Lavan, my dear father-in-law, also gave me a hard time. My daughter was kidnapped and raped. My son disappeared from the face of the earth. I could not seek comfort. Lo yacholti leinachem. I could not seek comfort. And all this, if you put it together, that's not life. That's not life. So if you ask al yemei megurai, if you ask on the days that I lived here on the earth, yes, it's 143 years. But if you ask on the way, on the days of when I considered myself to be alive, well, that's much less. That's much less. Why? Because all that sarot, all the problems, a lot of years are going down. You don't enjoy it. You don't enjoy it. When you have hardship of parnasa, or hardship with a kid, or any kind of hardship, it's like a nightmare. You can't wait for this thing to finish already. And that's not life. Of course, the question is, how do we and why do we put ourselves in such situations? Why? Well, I have the answer, but that will cost you a Jackson or Franklin. But I'm going to tell you, why do we do this to ourselves? Every time that you go through the suffering, life is not really life. And these are not considered to be life. That's going to say years on earth, but it's not considered to be life. But if you look, for example, by Sarai Imenu, it wasn't the case like that. In Sarai Imenu, every single day in her life was Chaim, was life. Because it says, Vayehu chayei Sarah 120 shana v'sheva shanim. Shnei chayei Sarah. Right? So, we're talking about the years of Sarah. We're talking about the years of Sarah or Shanem Megurea. So it says, Shnei chayei Sarah. Both the chronicle age of Sarah and the time that she was alive were identical. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you, if you're going to take the time of your life and you're going to collect all the times that you felt extremely miserable, that you just couldn't take it anymore, you're frustrated, things weren't going your way, and not because you were a spoiled brat. Take this, you felt horrible, miserable. That life is not considered to be life. It's just time, chronicle time on earth. But it's not really life. By Sarai Imenu, they were identical. Every day was full of life. Listen, Sarah did not have it easy. But every day was life. There was no gap between the things. Shnei yemei chayei Sarah. Both of them, both chronicle and actual living time, were identical. Do you have money for a haircut? Just give you half a haircut. So, in other words, by Sarah, the whole entire life was basically life. And so is Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu, he says, "Ve'Avraham zaken ve'olech balelot." Yeah, ba bayamim. Ba bayamim. There are those who explain that Avraham Avinu ba im kol hayamim shelo. Ba bayamim. He came with all his days. There was no day. Everything was complete. Everything was focused and dedicated, and so on and so forth. And so was Yosef. When the brothers told Yaakov that he lives in Mitzrayim, Yaakov said to him, Rav od Yosef beni chai? Is he alive or is miserable? Right? They told him he's in Mitzrayim. So what does it mean he's still alive? Is he alive? In other words, even in the Tum'ah, the great Tum'ah of Mitzrayim, Yosef was able to be alive. He had chayut, he had simchat chayim, he had joy. So when Yosef revealed himself, now you can understand what we were saying. When Yosef revealed himself to his brother, where's Avichai, by the way? He asked me this question. When Yosef revealed himself to his brothers, what did he tell them? Ani Rebbe, Ani Yosef, right? Ha'od Avichai. Now you understand the word chayut. I mean, they told him, they said to him, right? He knew. Didn't he know that Yaakov is Chai, right? Because he asked him, I think Yehuda keeps telling him, Avinu, 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 Avinu. So why is Od Avichai? In other words, he says, you killed my father. I know how much suffering my father had gone through because of what you had done to him because of me. Is he still alive? Or is just living? I know people, and by the way, I'm not talking about here about cases of clinical depression or so on and so forth. I'm going to tell you something that maybe it'll reach a point by you. Life that have no meaning are also not life. When you get up in the morning, and you go to work, and you come back, and you come back, and you go to work, and you don't know why you're doing the things you're doing, and do not tell me money, you're just living your life, you're living life. But you're not alive. Something had died inside of you, and you always try to go back to a point in your life when you felt alive. To some people is when they were 15, to some people is when they were 3, some people when they were 20, some people when they were 25, and so on and so forth. But usually you retrace yourself back to the time that you felt most alive. But right now you're not alive. You're living, but you're not. Something is dead inside of you. And this is very, very dangerous. It's a very dangerous path. It's a infectious disease. And many times it happens also when you and that's something, for guys of you who are not married. Your eye is very red. Guys who are not married, there should be an indication for you when you go on a date. Is this person makes you feel alive? I mean, in your heart and in your head, right? If not, if the person that you about to marry or you date makes you feel like, at best, like they're, I don't know, a good old slipper, toss them away. It's not good enough. You need to feel invigorated, alive. It just feels comfortable, like you look, Mr. What's his name? Mr. Roberts over there. What do you call this guy? It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Rogers, that's it, right? Puts his cardigan, puts his slippers on. This is a horrible day. That's terrible. You're getting yourself into old age home in your 20s. Terrible thing to do. You need to feel alive. The person you feel like you just took, I don't know, Coke. Not this one, that one, right? Boom, alive. World is there. If the person puts you down to sleep, regardless of what everybody else is telling you, never listen to somebody else. Why? Because they'll have to go through it. Oh, don't worry, the solid person will put me to sleep. In other words, you're going to be in spiritual coma from this point on in your life. It doesn't make a difference if you made plans for the wedding, or you got engaged, or you gave it the ring. You can get it back. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your life. You need to feel alive and invigorated by the person. Now, you should know also that you should also be invigorating the other person, but it goes hand in hand. You feel like you want to do things together, not just do things together. So he told them that. They just told them, Avinu, יש לנו אב זקן, יש לנו אב זקן, Avinu, Malkeinu, Borenu, right? Adoneini. And then you ask me if he's Chai. Yes, Yosef knows he is alive, but is he spiritual alive? Is he spiritually dead? This is not a clinical depression. Clinical depression, you give him a little, Prozac or whatever it is, take him to belly dancing, he'll feel fine, right? I'm talking about life also of meaningless life, with no meaning. That if I would put you a spiritual, angiogram, whatever it is, gonna go dead. There's no spiritual excitement, no ups and downs. So therefore, why did the Torah says Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Yisrael 17 shana? When pure math tells us that, to tell us that in the days that he was with Yosef together, he was alive. No problems. Lo היה לו צרות, tzaras. And as we say in English, how old are you? Right? As I told you before, in Hebrew it doesn't work like this. Right? Because Ben is a son, is a child, is young, refers to your youth inside of you. So the question is always not how many years a person lived on this earth, but how many years he was actually alive, spiritually alive on this earth. That's why I see people who are 20 years old, who are spiritually dead, and people who are 70, 80 years old, who are absolutely full of life. Age has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the quality of your life. One of the reasons for that, and one way to achieve that, is when people say about the good old days. And I'll tell you something about the good old days. They were really good. Yes, we didn't have internet. We didn't have Conway Twitter, whatever we had, right? And we didn't have Instagram, we had Telegraph, and so on and so forth. But we had something gorgeous in life, and that was simplicity. That simplicity forced us to really appreciate what we have. The fact that we have a lot today, and means to buy a lot, teaches us something very, very simple. We always look at what we don't have instead of looking at what we really have. Look at what you have and see how lucky you are. We always look at what we don't have. I remember as a kid, nobody went to overseas. Going to different countries and so on and so forth, it's a wonderful thing. However, in the West, when, for example, Israelis started to go to Europe a lot and all these places like that, they got corrupted because they would say, oh, we don't have this, so I want it. And then they became not Israelis anymore. When things were simple, we were happy. We were celebrating what we have, whether it was family, an object, and things, and so on and so forth. So one way for you to do is, first of all, start taking an inventory of all the wonderful things that you have. And believe me, you have a lot. And there is a tremendous blessing in your life that you're able to go and buy and acquire and to read and to have access to so many wonderful things. Look at what you have. Appreciate what you have. Start to strive for simplicity, simple life. Don't look at what you don't have. See the bracha in the things that you have. Imagine you had 5 months to live. What you would do? You sit there and mop and cry all the time? I think you should get a motorcycle and go cross country. So I'm going to ask you this. Well, hopefully we have 50 years and more. But who tells you have 50 years? Maybe you only have 5 months, 5 years, 5 days. Who knows? Why don't you live every day of your life like it is the last day of your existence, like it's the last day of your life? Feel every moment that you have with meaning and joy. Learn from Yaakov Avinu. But you see, when you're going to this path, the Shekhinah cannot dwell inside of you. Ruach HaKodesh was removed from him. So if you want to get a little bit more spiritual, and you want to have this Ruach HaKodesh inside of you, bubbling inside of you like a bubbling brook, reviving you, well, you start being happy, and be happy with what you have. I would like to make a challenge to all of you. Besides food that you need to get and so on and so forth. Try for the next 6 months not to buy anything else from what you have. For the next 6 months. And every time you want to buy something, look at the price, take this money, put it in a different bank account. Don't touch this money. But don't buy it. 6 months. I want to see if you last 6 weeks. But let's try to do it for 6 months. Between now and I don't know, what is it? June. The end of the semester.
Oh, it's the first day of summer.
First day of summer. Now we're going to be the first day of winter, and then to the first day of summer. 6 months. Try not to buy anything. You have plenty of clothes. You have plenty of books that you never read. You have everything you need. Take an inventory of all the things you need. And you see you have more enough. Do not buy anything anymore. Besides gifts for me. No, don't. Try to do it. And now every time you take something, you say, oh my goodness, I love this sweater. I haven't seen him in a long time. I like that sweater. Start appreciating what you have. Now, in 6 months, you'll see how much money, A, you have to decide, on the side, and B, you probably realize that you can go another 6 months without buying anything either. Unless the shoe broke or something like that. But I'm sure you have more than one pair of shoes. So Rabotai, it's the end of Sefer Bereshit. Coming to an end. It's coming to an end, and if you take Sefer Bereshit, as I said to you guys, Sefer Bereshit is a way, each stage in Sefer Bereshit of the characters there is a stage to get, for us to acquire self-improvement. Whether it's Avraham Avinu, whatever he did, and so on and so forth, what Noach did, and so on and so forth. And of course, when we come into Moshe, this is all to come. And none of them, all the stages that you took, could not reach you to the level of Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Because the most important quality in self-improvement is humbleness. Be humble. There's no need to be a big shot. Be a humble, simple kind of man. Right? Kind of a Jew. Be nice. Be humble. Be happy. See the bracha in everything that you have. Bring other people joy. Share the meaning that you find in your life with others. That's a very wonderful job to do. And you'll see that the more you'll help others, the more meaning you'll have in your own life. And then your life would be worthy to call life. Because until then, it's just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. You're wasting your time. I want you to go and enjoy. Enjoy. Joy and enjoy. Look around. See the wonderful things that are there for you. See how lucky you are. And say then, Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. Modeh on everything that you do. Not only that you get up in the morning, on everything that you do. Modeh ani lefanecha. Be'ezrat Hashem, you work like this, the summer will be a better summer. They won't have the challenges of the summer. Your life will be life, and that will be the beginning of a wonderful journey. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.